Hello, hello, hello. We are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling. We talk about all the action inside and outside the ring, backstage curtain calls, rumors, dramas, and updates. We talk about contract negotiations amongst superstars, extensions, and new signings amongst promotions like WWE to AEW to New Japan Professional Wrestling. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we're going to talk about it here on this show 1010%. So make sure you guys smash that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show. Follow the network. All right, without further ado, we're going to cap off this amazing show with our fifth and final segment. We have some TNA Impact preview for January 30th, 2025, tomorrow. Can't wait for you guys to watch it. I think it's going to be pretty badass. I think it's going to, it's going to be pretty badass. We're going We're going to see Nic Nemeth kick off TNA Impact. After that tough loss to Joe Hendry at TNA Genesis, we're going to see the former TNA World Champion kind of show what's next. What is next for TNA? What is next for Nic Nemeth? What's next for Ryan Nemeth? What's next for... I feel like maybe them being a tag team together, I don't know if you put Nick into a position where he could turn heel, because you have a lot of baby faces. Last week on TNA Impact... last week you saw Josh Alexander, betrayed, and you kind of saw him maybe jumping into that babyface storyline potentially. And then you have Mike Santana as well. You have the returning Mustafa Ali, but Mustafa Ali can play a pretty good heel. We've seen that before. He left TNA for an undisclosed amount of time, and now he's back. Maybe Nick finds himself with Ryan, but Ryan, oh God, his brother's such a... can't even say it with a straight face. Talented. He's a talented, cocky, arrogant, self-fulfilled, or however you like to call it. And I don't know, maybe he might find a way to kind of, be with his brother to kind of, make a mark. Maybe he invoke his rematch, his rematch clause pretty soon. I think so. That'd be pretty badass. Maybe you see a face-to-face between him and Joe Hendry. I would love to see Nic Nemeth kind of stay on the same side where he is right now. Maybe he makes a run on WWE NXT. I feel like that's highly unlikely. I feel like a lot of TNA stars that had past baggage with WWE will never go back. Like, I really doubt Matt Cardona would come back and, be in the Royal Rumble and be like, woo woo, that Zack Ryder kind of feel. Or Nic Nemeth coming back as Dolph Ziggler. That would be pretty interesting as well. But this Royal Rumble, I can't wait for the Royal Rumble. On Saturday, mark your calendars, guys. Can't wait to watch it. It's going to be so intense. It's going to be so awesome. But back to TNA. Back to TNA. So we're going to see the former X Division champion Mustafa Ali, who interrupted Mike Santana on Impact, officially announcing his return to the company. Now it looks like he's going to try to kick off his campaign to become the TNA World Champion as he takes on the Laredo Kid. I would love to see Mustafa Ali come back to WWE NXT, but obviously there's no 205 Live anymore. He still has that same name. He still has that Mustafa Ali name. And it would have surprised me. North American Championship, anybody? Maybe. Maybe you see a dream match like Wes Lee taking on Mustafa Ali, or Mustafa Ali taking on Javon Evans. Would be pretty badass. I gotta be honest. Would be pretty damn badass. It'd be pretty cool. Mustafa Ali coming back to TNA, signing a new contract, so it should be pretty badass. Should be pretty cool. Next, we have Ace Austin, speaking of Wes Lee, taking on Wes Lee, NXT, obviously accompanied by Tyson and Tyreek. I feel like Tyson and Tyreek will get involved, and then maybe, just maybe, you see the Rascals coming back up Ace Austin, and then you see that rivalry rekindled between Zachary Wentz, Trey Miguel, and Wes Lee, former badass Rascals members. When they broke up, I gotta be honest, I was heartbroken. I wasn't ready for it. I think it was Great American Bash they broke up. And then Wes Lee super kicks everybody, and you're like, no, why? Because it was such a great, kicking off this TNA and NXT partnership. You saw an amazing storyline Like Wesley ready to give up because he could not defeat Oba Femi for the NXT North American Championship, so he was going to hang up his boots. Then, of course, Zachary Wentz comes out and Trey Miguel, they're trying to hype up their brother again to feel alive, to get that passion back into professional wrestling. Don't give up, man. Don't give up. You still got a shot. You still got a shot in terms of a little bit of professional wrestling. Just got to be patient. You got to be patient. And then Wes Lee, obviously turning his back on them. I feel like it'd be kind of poetic justice to have, Ace Austin kind of needing help against Wes Lee and Tyson and Tyreek, and then you see freaking the Rascals come back. That would be so cool. That'd be so awesome. Next, we have Eric Young and Josh Alexander taking on the Northern Armory. Former adversary Eric Young and Josh Alexander will team up against the Northern Armory. After the faction's betrayal of Alexander last week on TNA Impact, will Judas Icarus and Travis Williams use the match to make to kind of make a statement, or will they basically end up losing? I do like this match. Like I said, you kind of have Josh Alexander. Now, what's next for him? What's next for him? His certainty in TNA right now is kind of up in the air. He has not yet signed a contract yet. I do not believe, unless it recently happened. Not recently happened. I've been keeping tabs on professional wrestling tabloids, but with the whole Eric Young thing, I love Eric Young. He's he's been with TNA for such a long time. I remember when I used to watch him back in 2006. And he was kind of like this wimpy figure. He'd always lose, get his ass kicked. And, look at him now. Look at him now. That's cool. It kind of reminds me of that Paul Rudd and, who the freak was it? Was it Jason Segel? No. Seth Rogen? And they're like, look at us. Look at us. You know what I mean? But, I feel like him and Josh Alexander right now are a pretty good spot. I honestly would love to see Josh Alexander in the Royal Rumble. It should be pretty badass. Next on TNA Impact, we have Cora Jade in action after her shocking confrontation with the Knockouts World Champion Masha Slamovich at both the Genesis and last week's TNA Impact. NXT's Cora Jade will be in action on Thursday, and should be interesting to kind of find out who she takes on. For one, I do love myself some Cora Jade. I feel like she is talented. Ever since she came back, from when she came back to NXT, kind of being like a lapdog to the former NXT World Champion Roxanne Perez. I want to see her stand on her own. And I talked about it earlier in the show when I was talking about NXT in my second segment. I really honestly want to see Cora Jade stand on her own. And I feel like she could be such a great storyline, such a great promoter. She has the it girl factor to her. I would love to see her go up against, I'm not too sure about Masha though. Right off the bat, I feel like that kind of attention's like, okay, you're gonna be this cocky, no good heel, and you're gonna go right into the lion's den and probably lose. And then that's just gonna make Cora Jade seem even more weak. But then again, Masha, she's had a decent reign so far. Maybe, just maybe, you see Cora Jade dethrone the TNA Knockouts World Champion, becoming the first ever WWE NXT superstar to hold a TNA Impact title. I wouldn't be mad at that. I would not be mad at that whatsoever. I feel like it'd be pretty cool. And now Roxanne Perez would, now she would be Cora's lapdog. So it's, and then Roxanne Perez gets jealous, wants a piece of Cora. There's so many storylines that could develop if Cora Jade defeats Masha Slamovich for that TNA Knockouts World Championship. And I would be absolutely all for it. We have Brian Myers taking on Leon Slater, and then Sami Callihan has been tormented by the mysterious number 23, who was revealed to be Steph DeLander and Mance Warner. This whole digital media championship with the PCO, destroying the belt on GCW. I guess it was real. I guess, but it could be kayfabe. Maybe PCO comes back on Impact. Who knows? But, Steph DeLander coming back, I like that a lot. I'm a huge fan of Steph. I love her work. But Sami Callihan, he's such a badass. I would love to see him, become the new digital media champion. But it'll probably most likely be Mance Warner. All this you can find out tomorrow night on TNA Impact on TNA Plus. So make sure you guys subscribe to kind of check it out. Make sure you guys Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the GSMC Sports Network. All right, guys. So hey, that's it for me. Hope you guys had a great time. Stay beautiful, but most importantly, of course, if I have not made you a wrestling fan by now, make sure you check out all the other podcasts we have here at the GSMC Sports Network. We got baseball, we got college football, we have regular football. We have hockey, we have the NBA, you name it, sometimes tennis, who knows, maybe. We have it all, and if you want it now, subscribe to the GSMC Sports Network. Give you the Eric Rodriguez guarantee that you guys will never, ever, 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 ever regret, subscribing to such an amazing network that brings you, the fans, everything that you guys love and all the sports content that you guys love to consume on a day-to-day basis. Like I said, that's it for me tonight. Stay beautiful, but most importantly, love you.